Hello, this is Ajahn Brahm here, talking from Bodhinyana Monastery in the west of Australia. And the reason I'm addressing people today is in support of this project to create a training centre for women and nuns in Sri Lanka to train them in the early Buddhist texts and the Vinaya, or the virtue of early Buddhism, and to create a place where even Western women can be able to experience the authentic training of Buddhism, which has been celebrated in Sri Lanka for so many centuries. Now we want to make sure there's very good places where they can get a decent training, a good training, which is safe and conducive to things like meditation. And that's why I'm supporting it. And in order to create the awareness of this project and also to be able to raise the funds for it, we have two courageous nuns, Venerable Upekkha and also Venerable Kantika, are going on a traditional tudong through Tasmania. It's a very safe country, and as they go through Tasmania, hopefully they'll get plenty of support. But even the fact they're doing this should be raising the awareness of not just the locals in Tasmania, but all Australian Buddhists, in order to bring this project to a good fruition. So this is to raise awareness and eventually funds for a training centre for women over in Sri Lanka. Ajahn Brahm, and thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, this is the second video that we are doing to let everyone know about the exciting project that we are doing to empower Buddhist women in the spiritual path. So in our time in monastic life, we have come across many women who ask the question, where can I go to practice, to learn the teachings of the Buddha and meditate and practice and live in a place that is secluded, tranquil, yet safe for women, where they have good opportunities for training in meditation, training in the teachings, all that is available. And these things are really rare in the world. The two of us have been quite fortunate to come across or stumble upon such great opportunities, but these are really rare. So we have a project happening. Our first project is in Sri Lanka to build a training center for women. And I would like to invite Venerable Upekkha to say a few words on how you got involved with this project.
Okay, so we were having a conversation about what you were doing, and three of us were sitting there, when Kantika, myself, and you were trying to brainstorm how can we raise funds. You know, as monastics, we have no such ability. What we offer is our practice and our time. This is what we can offer. So Venerable Kantika came up with this brilliant idea, as she does. We were planning to go on a kind of a tudong, a walk in the national parks in Tasmania. And she said, well, why don't you dedicate your project to raising funds for women in Sri Lanka? So that's how it. I'd like to read the letter that was. This is quite incredible, because this offer to go on a walk came from a young woman who had only just become involved in Buddhism and didn't really know much. Anyway, this is what Mel writes. I just thought we'd share this. During my hike along the Great Ocean Walk, in Victoria in December 2023, I met a monk while carrying a book titled The Art of Non-Conformity, searching for a way to live more in line with my values. This encounter made a lasting impression on my mind and got me thinking about how I might live a bit differently outside conventional norms. It marked the beginning of my journey on the path of Dhamma. The monk suggested I stay at a monastery and invite nuns out hiking. That simple suggestion planted a seed of merit, which has since unfolded. Later, when I stayed at Dhammasara Nuns Monastery in Western Australia, I donated some camping gear and had the blessing of speaking with the nun who accepted it. Interestingly, she had completed a one-week tudong on the Bibbulmun track, which gave me the chance to ask if she might be interested in doing another tudong. I had recently won 2 tickets for the 3 Capes track in Tasmania via Zorali and invited her to join me, along with another nun if she wished. It felt like the perfect opportunity for some nuns to experience nature outside the monastery and benefit from the practice of charika, walking meditation, or a bit of dhutanga. Do means to shake off. Nature has a way of teaching us many things, such as presence, mind, that's sati, impermanence, anicca. Their presence on tudong might inspire others too, maybe even encouraging them to see things in a new way. It is truly a blessing to come across paths with a monastic, especially for someone who has never visited a monastery before.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so that's how our project got, we decided to do anything that we can, that we are capable of, in being able to raise funds for women around the world. Yes.
Thank you. It's amazing what happens. You don't know, you think, what are you doing? Who are you going to meet? Just going in the wilderness. But it's incredible who you meet. Like reading from Mel's letter, what we hear is that she was not a Buddhist to begin with. She just met a monk randomly on a walk, just had a conversation, came across a book which he passed on to her, and that made a big shift, a change in her life. So we don't know during your walk who you are going to make and what changes might come about as a result. So I really hope that would be the case, and we would like to have also a post hike discussion which we will keep you posted, where you can share the stories of people, the generosity, the dramas, the anything that you come across, the insights, big or small, you get, and hopefully you will share some from the cliff tops during your walk, whatever it is. And we would like to follow you through our Instagram and Facebook social media, where you can keep track, support them, encourage them, send your good wishes, tell us how you feel about the walk, and at the end we will also have another catch-up session where we can even inspire ourselves more and also tell you more about it. So we look forward to being in touch with everyone, and we look forward to also your support for us to support this big endeavor to support and empower Buddhist women to live the spiritual path, to practice and realize this beautiful enlightenment or Nibbana, the teachings of the Buddha. Thank you so much for joining us in our journey. Ayah Upeka and Ayah Kantika are soon to leave on a walk. And I'm here today to ask a couple of questions from Ayah Upeka about this walk that she's going to go. So can you please tell us about how did it all come about?
I think it was the end of last year that Venuvakantika, Ayakantika asked me, would I like to go on a walk, on a hike to Tasmania? And I said, no, of course not. I'm old. How can I do things like that? I can't walk. And I said no 2 times. And the third time when she asked me again, I thought, why not? Why not? Why can't someone who lives in a comfortable world, in a comfortable monastery, and who has not hiked since she was 18 years old, we live in such a safe world, and we live without any hardships, really.
Right.
And I felt that as part of one's training of one's heart, that to be able to endure physically, not just mentally. We endure all kinds of anxieties, the Wi-Fi not working, the train is not on time, but physical hardships of being in pain.
Right.
We're such wimps.
Tell me about it.
And that it was, if you're going to be ready for old age, sickness and death,
Right.
then you have to have some kind of physical endurance as
Right.
well.
So that was when you decided
yeah,
that
then
you
I
would
thought,
go.
I should
go.
yeah, I should
Wow,
give, yeah.
good on you. I don't know when that will be the case for me. It is a beautiful thing. I agree that being able to give ourselves a little bit of a challenge to try and push our boundaries a little bit, because it's, I think, a real great act of renunciation. So I will take more time, but really good on you for being able to make up that. So how have you been practicing? Have you been training? How have you been
Yes.
preparing for this?
Yes, so from having no fitness levels, Venuvakantika and I have got these 2 backpacks we created with water bottles.
Right.
And every evening, I see her on the track, she sees me on the track, and both of us walk around the monastery with our 10-kilogram
Backpacks.
pretend backpacks with water bottles.
Right.
Yes.
Uphill, downhill.
Uphill, downhill, around and around.
Right. And how many kilometers?
We're actually doing probably on average 10 kilometers a
A
day.
day on the actual hike.
On the actual hike.
So it's
but
still unknown what's going to happen.
yeah,
Right.
we're only having 3 kilometers. After that, good sleep.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
So how do you feel about that? How do you
that
feel
it's
about
going
that?
to be
Every day 10 to 12.
10 to
for 4
12
days?
kilometers. It's I think we're as prepared as we can be, but it's allowing that uncertainty and that discomfort and that being at ease with whatever comes. I think that is going to be the way.
What inspires you really from your heart? What do you think you will get out of this? From doing this as a spiritual practice?
As a spiritual practice, getting out of my head and into my body.
Right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we all do that?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
because most of us, I mean, even if we're monastics, we're born in a society that lives in our heads.
That's true.
And to just be close to nature and just be walking, hopefully it gets you out